All right, it is 9:30. We can go ahead and get started. Today is going to be a pretty quick BlueSync. My name is Kelly Ewing. If you don't know me already, I am down in Florida. And if you don't know me, that's my second home behind me there. Actually, my first home is probably more accurate. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today's topic is fixing that pesky testimonial tree widget on agent websites, which has come up quite frequently recently. So here's a perfect example. I'm using Brent over in Sunstar. He was one of the websites that was still kind of hanging out there, not corrected just yet. So you'll see at his agent website and any other agent website that you'll encounter that has this issue, on their homepage or on their testimonial tree site page, you'll see a rotating testimonial tree widget. Now you can tell here that Sherry Sapp is not Brent Canavari, and it'll rotate through and it'll say or other agents that are also not Brent, and we don't see any of Brent's testimonials here, and that is what we're going to look into how to fix today. So here's what it looks like. The fix first is to make sure that you have proxy access. That is the easier way. Of course, you're more than welcome to walk through with the agent if you're in person or over the phone, but I find proxy access is pretty quick and easy to just do yourself, but either way it will work. So in order to fix it, we are going to go into Desk and then into Moxi Works, of course. Once you bring up Moxi, you can either be proxied in as the agent or again sitting with them, walking them through it. Right now, I'm logged in as Brent. He granted me proxy access so I can do the training today. You can see here who you're logged in as. You are going to also pull up in another tab, schmidtresources.com, of course, and come down to the Technology tab. And honestly, it's so quick, I could run through this twice today. It's pretty simple. You're going to come down to the testimonial tree login. Log in. You can log in as staff or as the agent, again, if you're sitting with the agent. Here I'm in as staff, so I do need to proxy and log in as Brent here. If you are sitting with the agent, of course, they'll already be logged in as their agent. But here as staff, we're going to go over to users, which you have access to your offices, of course. You'll see the users here. I find it easier to just filter on the right-hand side, find Brent, and it'll pull him right up. And then what I like to do is log in as that user. You'll see that you are ending up signing in as the agent. Again, if you're not already sitting with them, you'll come over to Widgets, Manage Widgets. And here you'll see two widgets that Brent currently has set up, which are embedded or encoded into his website as an agent. What I like to do personally, and I don't know if this is really, too correct or not, but I like to look at the widget ID. I can tell that based on these two IDs, this is the most recent widget. So I just like to go with the most recent one personally, because I know that's what is actually being used on the website. So I will come over here to get the code in the get code column. And I will say 9 out of 10 times, I don't mean to go a little off script, but 9 out of 10 times, it is the widget code right here. Brent is a little funky, and I'll show you why. He is using the iframing, which I honestly haven't run into at all until Brent. But again, 9 times out of 10, you're going to use this widget code right here. You would copy the whole code, or you can hit the copy button here, and you'll copy that to your clipboard. In Brent's case, and I'll show you why, he's using iframing in his website. So either way, you just want to make sure you want to copy that code. And we're going to go back into Moxi, into his website editor. And once that loads, you will see there's different ways to get here. Sometimes it's in the website builder, which I'm used to. For Brent, for example, I don't think he has the website builder on his homepage. So I navigated to site pages, found the homepage to edit. And here's where it normally has the built-in, the website builder that I'm sure we've trained on so much, and it's that really nice, intuitive, user-friendly website builder. He does not have that, and I'll show you how and why you can identify that. So when you come down to the welcome text, you can see here that there is that incorrect widget that is rotating through incorrect agents that are not Brent. In order to edit this, once you highlight it and have it selected, you can come up here to edit that media. And here, just by looking, I see that it says widget frame. So that's what told me it's the iframing. So I am going to go ahead and paste over that widget frame. And then I'm going to click OK. And that should fix it. And yep, that is actually a Brent testimonial. I saw it within his testimonial tree. If we go back to his dashboard, I did notice Licia or somebody, yep, this one. So it is corrected. You can see that it's rotating. It says Brent's name now and not other agents. And then you want to make sure you publish it at the very bottom, always. I love to that, but please don't forget that or else it will still be incorrect. And then we're going to go ahead and publish it. And pretty instantaneous, if we go back to his page and refresh it, fingers crossed if everything goes well, it's corrected now. So now all of Brent's testimonials are showing and not the opposite agents. I'll go through another round really quickly unless anyone has any quick questions. Otherwise, I'll fly through it again. And I do plan on having a job aid for this. If there's not already one in the ASC drive, I'll throw in some screenshots and a quick job aid on the widget code to copy and paste from TestimonialTree. So more to come on that. Otherwise, I'll go through again. Are there any hands raised? I can't see any. Perfect. All right, so we'll go through again. You're going to make sure that you go through CV Desk into Moxi Works, where you are either proxied in as the agent or, yep, we'll get that job aid over to you, Brenda and everybody. Make sure you're proxied in as the agent. It was a really quick call. I was like, Brent, can I proxy as you? That way, it's much easier, truly, once you get the hang of it and you know how to fix it. Make sure you're logged in as the agent, and then you're going to come over to my website, have their website editor up in order to edit their pages, and then come over to TestimonialTree, where again, as staff, it will look more like this as your staff login, where you need to go to management first in order to find that user. If I went ahead and did widgets, it would be under my account and not the agent's. So we want to make sure that we grab that user, Brent, and not ourselves as staff. And then once Brent populates, all right, now we're going to get clunky. Let me refresh the page. Of course, we'll give it another second to load. Or I can try signing out and back in. Hopefully that will help. And again, the easiest way to get to TestimonialTree as an agent or staff is going through Schmidt Resources and then that technology tile. I'm going to go back into users. All right, it looks like it's loading better. Perfect. And then we're going to log in as the agent, which again, you won't have to do if you are sitting with them. But we want to make sure we're seeing that agent that we're grabbing that widget embedded code for. We'll come back over to widgets, manage, and then grab the most recent widget ID. Most often there's really one there. And if there's a list there, feel free to kind of go through. You can also preview them, although you won't see the incorrect display as a preview. It's always going to be that agent's testimonial. So it's kind of hard to identify. And we're going to grab that code, which again, 9 times out of 10 is going to be this code right here, the widget code. Unfortunately, Brent's example was iframing, but again, you can tell if it's iframing if that current code that you're seeing in the website editor says widget frame. So you'll copy that code, come back into the site editor. Right now, we are in his home page, and we're going to scroll down. Otherwise, sometimes you'll see that website builder here again. and you'll just select the widget. You'll see the widget as an example on the website builder, very similar to this down here. Select it, edit it. I do think it's a different button when it's not the iframing, but nevertheless, it'll be editing what you have selected and then just pasting over that current broken link, pressing OK, and then coming down and saving it. But you can always check your work by making sure that that widget is fixed. You'll be able to see a preview example before you publish it. And once you publish it at the very bottom, or in the site editor, I think sometimes it's in the upper right, just find that publish button and make sure you publish it. Now, I did see a question. Let me stop sharing. Is the process the same if it is a drop-down and not on the home page? Yes. So you would go to, instead of their home page, their testimonial tree tab, which is a site page. You'll find that testimonial widget if it's not in the home page, and you'll see the website builder there, or you would see that that example that Brent has. He's not using the website builder, and that's why his looks a little different. But website builders are more common. Sue, did you have a question?
I did, and I'm not sure if it's the same question that was just asked, but so the widget is different from the testimonial tree page.
Yeah, so you can put a widget on, yep, you can put a widget on the page, and you can also manually do testimonials. And I will say, in trying to find an example for today's training, quite a few agents have that manual testimonial that they pulled over or manually entered into their testimonial tree page, not their home page, but the testimonial tree tab. And you'll see, you know, 5 that they decided to manually put in there, whereas others, you'll see that rotating widget. And I've only really found that the rotating one has been broken. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. But the ones that have their solid examples, let me see if I can find an example.
Yeah, because that was my question. I felt like the ones where it's, you know, like the widget, it probably on their, you know, their front page is the one that seems to be incorrect. Whereas if you have, you know, like the page up, you know, where it says testimonial tree or my reviews or whatever as one of those tabs, that those aren't, that those don't seem to be incorrect.
Not that I found, but Carrie,
okay.
Unmute.
Yeah, so it's not as often, but it does happen. That's a much easier fix. You don't even have to go to TestimonialTree. You go into Moxi, delete the site page, and just re-add it. And that usually will fix those. But you're right, Sue, it doesn't happen as often as the widget's going awry.
Perfect. And here you can see the manually selected testimonials that the client team has entered on their page. So, and I personally haven't seen any of that are broken. Again, I think it's more that rotating one. Yep. Deleting the site page and re-adding it is a much better idea. Thank you, Carrie. Are there any other questions on the embedded code or fixing within TestimonialTree and MoxiWorks as the agent? No? Well, perfect. If you happen to run into it and you get stuck, always feel free to call. I'm more than happy to assist anytime. And then, of course, we'll have this recording. And I will make sure there's a job aid if there's not already one in that ASE Dread Carry. I don't think there was. Okay, so I'll make a quick one to put in there. That way you can reference it as you go through with the agents. And if there are no other questions, thank you very much and happy Thursday. Thank you.